What is up, fellow people who go to the gym instead of therapy? As always, this is Patrick, your leader of said expedition to the gym instead of therapy. I repeated myself there, and I apologize for that. Today, we have a bench accessory day. Now, last meet at the American Pro, right? I benched 622, but in training, I missed a 575 bench about like 4 or 5 weeks out from the meet. So I ended up opening with 545, and that's just entirely unacceptable in my book. When you miss 50 pounds less than what you hit in the comp, it's not usually, that's not super kosher. Extremely unexpected. So my coach and I got back to the drawing board, and we were basically like, all right, what in Patrick is what is being successful, what is not being successful. I have a lot of power off the chest. I can pop. Now, I've never loaded up these numbers, but I can extrapolate based on my ability to move things. I can probably pop 675 off the chest, but I probably can't lock it out. So my control downwards is my strong point and my weak point at the same time. Because, so when you unrack a bar, right, your body starts this timer, a time under tension timer. And the heavier the weight is, the shorter that timer is. And when it comes down to meet day, you're going to want the shortest timer possible while maintaining control of the bar. You don't want to dive bomb a bar onto your chest, because, I mean, you get it heavy enough and it'll just go right through you. And that's not the way I want to die. I want to die death by snoo snoo. Muscle mommy or extremely tall chick. Or like an Asian chick who's like really dangerous, you know? Like, if she could be a ninja, that'd be. Anyways, so you want to control the bench down to your chest, right? But you want to control it fast. And as I get closer and closer to a meet, as I go training, I develop a lot of inflammation in my shoulders, my joints, and everything. And that's because I have weak shoulders. My triceps aren't weak, but there's something in my system that's stronger than the rest of everything. And that is taking the majority of the load, and everything that is not caught up to that point of that singular system that is operating efficiently. I don't think it's my chest, because I never train chest. It blew my coach's mind when we were talking on the phone last week, and he was like, you know a pec deck, right? And I was like, no. He's like, you know the machine that you use to train? I was like, no, never touched one before. Is that like a Bowflex from the commercials back when I was a kid? And he was like, you bench what? So apparently pecs are important, but I never train them. I actually don't know which muscle group. Maybe it's my triceps, because so whatever system there is, it's taking more load than it should. So since my triceps are the system that hurts the most and is not just inflamed, because when I get close to a meet, it's my shoulders. I get tendonitis. Every joint from my wrist to my shoulders, every muscle has tendonitis, and it is awful. So my bench descent slows pretty much to a halt, and people are like, why did you bring this? Why is this video in slow motion? And then touch the chest, pop it up. It's nothing, basically. But I missed that 575 in training last time because of the inflammation making everything go slow as fuck. So we are trying to target the systems that are weak and maintain the systems that are strong through incline bench press. We are working the stabilizers with incline dumbbell bench. Nope, that is not today. That was Monday. We are working the back, the shoulders, the biceps, and we're doing a little bit of a razzle dazzle when it comes to doing some floor presses. I got a real cool setup. I don't like it, but it's better than other floor press setups, which is a statement that has both a beginning, middle, and end, like all statements should have. But we got a bench accessory day today, so tune in. I'll try to explain everything as much as possible. I just got out of work. I got into work early today because the CEO of my company was coming in, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and be at work as little as possible while this man is in the building, because the less time that he's here, the less likely I am to get fired. That's how that works, right? They don't just call you or send you an email. They have to physically tell you, right? Maybe. But so I'm out of work early today, which means the gym hopefully will be emptier than usual, or it'll be really weird people that I've never seen at the gym before because I'm going at a time that I'm not usually at the gym. So we'll see. I'll try to explain as much of what I'm doing as possible to you guys, and I will horrendously fail at trying to be on topic because I'm just a guy. I try, but I'm just a guy. You know, I'm just little old me, little Patrick. I fit through most doorways. There are some doorways I don't fit through, but I I fit through most of them, so I'm small. I'm just a little Pat. So I'll see you guys with my warm-up stuff that I do not know off the top of my head. I'm gonna have. So I did 4 sets of that. Just get blood flowing. 30-second isometric push-up hold. Supersetted with arms only assault bike, non-consent bike if you want to be special. Get blood flowing. Got a pretty good bicep pump. Not triceps. Triceps aren't hit at all during that. It's a bicep pump, lat pump, and a bit of a pec pump, which is weird because I wasn't doing any pressing. But someone fixed the non-consent bike last week after it broke on my cardio day, and it's about ready to break again. So that's what you get for picking up random pieces of gym equipment off the side of the street. Come on. Yeah, boogers here. It's people watching. Gee willikers. I 100% forgot to explain the next thing that we're doing. We're doing a lat pull down superset. Wait for it. With lat pull down. So we've got a set of 20 lat pull downs, right? And then we're supersetting it with 5 more lat pull downs, but the 5 more lat pull downs are tempoed, 505, which means 5 count down, 5 count up. So we're controlling it in both directions, increasing the time under tension when we really want to be kind of grinding things out as fast as possible. So we're going against the natural instincts, because the brain is your worst enemy when it comes to training, gym, lifting, anything. Thinking is a bad habit. Stop thinking. Just do. Just don't get canceled for it. I got to be careful what I say here. But also, you guys all love me, right?
Yeah, it's dropped over 52-inch bar, so we had plenty of momentum to keep going. Even worse than that, you missed the drop.
Whoo-wee, that's a grueling method of doing pull down. So I started at 150 because I was fresh, right? And the 505 was extra difficult, specifically on the biceps. It's like the lat pull downs were nice and easy, nice and smooth. But once I slowed it down for the 505 ones, it's like the biceps were like, hey, what's up? Hey, pretty man. Hey, handsome. I'm still here. So the biceps ended up being the limiting factor on how heavy I could go on that. So I started with 150s. Second set I did 130, and third and fourth set I did 110. Usually I'm doing hundreds, but I was thinking to myself, so I can do hundreds for 4 by 26 because it was sets of 6 or sets of 20 plus 6 instead of 20 plus 5, right? And I was like, I can do it with hundreds. I can do it. I can't do it with 150. Why the fuck do I have to stay at the same weight when I'm going through it? So it's supposed to be an RPE 9. So I'm supposed to have like 1 rep in reserve when I'm done. So I got it. It's like RPE 9.5. Drop it down to 130, RPE 9.5. Drop it down to 110, RPE 9.5. So we're keeping the RPE same. What does RPE stand for? It's on a scale of 1 to 10. How hard do you think you're going? How hard do you think the set is? There's some hippie bullshit way of saying, I think I can do a little more. I think I could squeak out more. Or RPE 10 is basically, that was maximum. I can't do any more weight, any more reps. That was that. So, but like, I've never actually trained with RPE. So I'm still getting used to like using RPE because RPE does have a place in training, just not for squat, bench, or deadlift. It's only an accessory movement kind of representation because you never max out your accessories. That is the dumbest shit you can do, is maxing out your accessories. So we kept the RPE the same, but we changed the weight, which means I got a bigger pump. I got more gains from that because of the structure and the way that I approach that. So I'm supposed to do seated face pulls with supination, or I think it's supination, but basically where I'm turning the shoulders out. But there's a guy on the cable machine right now, and our cable machine, though it has 3 cables on it, only 2 are adjustable, and pretty much only 1 person can use it at a time. So it's like, yeah, we've got three cables with possible attachments to it, but actually it's not usable by 3 people at the same time. It's only 1. I need like 25s on it, and they've got 2 plates per side. So I'm like, all right, let's move on to the next accessory, come back for that later. And so what we've got going on is dumbbell floor press, which, so I hate setting up floor presses because like you bring it to your hip, you hip thrust it up, and you risk tearing something every time you do that. And I got a new floor press setup. If you've been following me for a little bit, you'll it looks like the dumbest shit possible, but it works. Where you just put the dumbbells on top of a bench vertically, and then you kind of yeet them into place while you tip the bench, and it works. So we're gonna. It's supposed to be a 3 by 8 RPE 9 with 3 minutes rest in between, and we're trying to go as fast as possible. And this kind of takes up time, but we're gonna try and push it. I'm gonna see if I can't get away with doing the 150s for sets of 8. If I can get 8, I'll go for 16. If I can get 16, I'll go for 24. But that's the extent of what we're going to be able to be doing. You know, a set's going to be real nice when you crack your back getting into position. So hit the 150s for 21. And then since mom and dad didn't raise no bitch, it was supposed to be sets of 8. I tried to cheat it, admittedly, to kind of prove a point to my coach, like, program regular floor presses. I prefer those because they're less annoying to set up, right? But 21 and 8, so 29 total reps. I could have squeaked out more, but I mean, I was only going to go for 8, so I got 8, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to coach about that setup. He got that setup from John Dorsey, or if y'all like remember Goob U2 on Instagram, the fitness fraud exposer person thing. He sent my coach that floor press setup, and I don't like the fact that I hear crunch getting into position. Like at first I was like, was that my shoulder? Was that my elbow? No, it was just my back. And then it was upper back first time, lower back second time. So just working it. But anyways, on to the seated face pulls with shoulder rotation. Gonna get a good shoulder pump going, and hopefully make all the local females white in the 1 mile radius. And just kidding, I scare children. We've got a special one here. Heaviest thing that we're doing today. We've got seated cable rows with the straps. So we're not limiting our grip strength. We're not limiting our back strength based on what our grip strength is. We're approaching kind of a weird area when it comes to the weight for this, because I've got 3.5 plates per side on this, which weighs more than me. So it's going to be pulling me in the direction of the cable, right? And it's going to be increasingly difficult for me to like actually maintain my bodily position. But what we're looking for here is nice, good stretch and scapular compression, retraction. You basically want to pinch your scaps behind you to get the best out of this. So we're doing 5 sets of 8, and we're holding at the back, bottom, whatever, for a 2 count. So So my feet were slipping that entire time. Well, we're pretty much almost at the maximum capacity of the machine. The entire thing was creaking while doing every single rep, as well as my inability to actually keep the my entire body from flying into the cable machine. The problem is it's still not enough weight. I'm still controlling it exactly how my coach wants me to, doing the 2 count contraction, trying to make it as hard as possible, and it's still too easy. But we're on to the next couple things. So there's 2 ways to get a massive fucking pump, right? There's doing a lot of reps, and then the one that not really many people talk about is increasing the time under tension. So when you do a lot of reps, you're basically firing really quickly, and you're flexing the muscle really quickly, and that pumps the blood to the muscle, right? The second way is time under tension. So you want to explode, you want to blast that muscle with blood, and then have it contract and controlled the whole way. So you're basically, if you're doing some sort of a pull down, right? You're pulling down to your chest, and you're still pulling down while you're controlling it back up. So you're still activating those muscles. And what happens is muscles have 2 kinds of muscle fibers. There's fast twitch and slow twitch. If you remember what I said, like literally like 3 seconds ago, when you're doing quick, fast reps, high reps, you're twitching your muscles. But if you have it under tension the whole time, your muscles are going to be twitching the whole time. And it's going to be whether or not it's the slow twitch muscles or the fast twitch muscles based on how many reps you've done at that point. It could be twitching slowly if you're at a certain rep range, or it could be twitching real fast to try and get the set done with and have you actually survive, because your body doesn't have eyes or ears. So it's basically got to operate based on the stimulus that you provide it. If you tell your body that I need more, I'm going to die, then it's going to give you more. It's going to give you way more than you need, and it's not going to know quite when to stop. We talked a bit about this in some previous videos about hypoxic response and how your body can't tell whether or not you're actually like suffocating or not when you actually need air, when to speed your heart rate up. This is kind of just teaching a little more control. When you control the weight, you've got that extra fast, slow twitch muscle fiber going, depending on your rep range, right? But also you're going to end up using a lower weight when you're trying to control the weight a little better. So you're going to be able to control which muscles specifically are firing at this while you're lifting a little bit better. So if you're doing a curl, you're not going to be swinging the dumbbells. You're going to be controlling the dumbbells. You're going to be activating those bicep muscles in the exact way that you want them to be stimulated. And they're going to be stimulating the whole time. They're going to be doing their twitching, even if you're not swinging away, using your back more than your bicep, using your hips more than your bicep. You're controlling it. You're going to get a bigger bicep pump. And you know what a bigger bicep pump means? It means you get more pussy. What percentage of my viewership is bears? Because I don't think they care about pussy. Thoughts for later.
Big old man.
I'm layered like an onion. I'm an onion.
I didn't mean that in a bad way. I just meant you're massive.
Tell me more about my massive pieces.
They're abnormally big. There's nothing like them. God, it's fucking cold in here.
That's the third complaint I've heard you say today.
I feel like I'm the only person who actually hates Chick-fil-A.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Never heard that before.
The food just tastes like oil.
Yeah.
That is blasphemy. All right. Let's see. Let's see this progress from today. The tricep pump right now is atrocious. I don't know how to actually pose. Triceps, they're popping. Oh, that pec shelf. Why do I have it on this side? Not on this side. What if that's just from when I tore my pec? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, a little bit of bicep veinage going on. Gotta back for posterity. Down to, ooh, look at this. This lighting. Down to 337. A little small. A little small. There we have it. That is a bench accessory day where we get the biggest pump that we get all week, I believe. I believe it is the biggest pump we get all week. Unless you count a heart pump, because we get a pretty sick heart pump on day 5. But anyways, it was a pretty good day. The lat pull down, I kind of called an audible on the weights on that to try to kind of correspond with the RPE a little bit better than I have been previously. Like, I don't want to sandbag anything, you know? Because when you sandbag things, you're missing an opportunity to get more gains, right? And before it, so my previous coach, he was all about, you know, accessories don't really matter. You know, accessories, they're kind of, you don't have to do accessories to get strong. You can just do the main movements and then just get the fuck out of there. So I basically would follow his program, just following the main movement and then kind of do my own thing for accessories. And it would generally be like 1x50 on the leg extension, just get a sick quad pump, and then some sort of ab movement, and then like a back movement, and then get the fuck out of there. Like, it was not optimized whatsoever, but I still worked up to the point where I got to with him, and we're somewhere along the line. the sport of powerlifting forgot that it's hard. So, understandably, we've got all these programs to make it easier, right? But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try hard, you know? Like, the only reason programs make things easier is so that you don't waste energy on stuff that's not going to work, that's not going to progress you. Though a lot of things, like, you can pretty much masturbate with a fucking broomstick and then put 5 pounds on your total in your first year of powerlifting. But like, once you get more and more progressed through lifting, once you get closer and closer to your peak potential, all those training sessions where you kind of just fucked around and found out whether or not it like actually did anything, like, those add up to you not hitting your potential, you know? So I'm always worried that I'm not doing enough, that I'm not training hard enough. And it's kind of a contrasting kind of philosophy as to what I'm supposed to be doing. So when I first started up with Joe, he was like, "You're sandbagging your accessories." And I was like, I went through the stages of grief and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I am sandbagging my accessories. And then I kind of bumped everything up and I ended up puking like 5 weeks in a row because I was like, I'm not going to sandbag my accessories anymore. So that progressed onwards. And then I hit a 300-pound dumbbell row. All right. And I was super proud of it. I sent the video to my coach, Joe, and he was like, "That looks like absolute dog shit." And I was like, "That's hurtful, but okay. I see where you're coming from." And he changed the way that I do all my accessories. And now I'm at a weird point with where I philosophically, like, it feels weird saying philosophically where I am in the gym when it comes to accessories, because the way that he wants me to approach things is to have things under control as much as possible. Have the 013 tempo where I contract as violently and as explosively as possible. I hold it for a moment and then I control it down in like a 3 count tempo. That's the 013. So everything is lighter than I would like it to be, but it's hard, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm so fucking attractive. But like, I don't know, I don't quite know how to put it. It's like I feel like the weight isn't heavy enough for me to be progressing as much as I would like to progress. And then you get to the point where you're like, you know, like it's there's the whole concept of you only really need to be strong on the platform, which that phrase, I hate the phrasing of that, because you need to be strong all the time. You only need to express your strength when you're on the platform. Like, even that phrasing doesn't really get the point of what it's supposed to mean. And like, the people at the top aren't the most creative people. They don't have a je ne sais quoi with words, you know? They're not going to properly express things. It's not, you don't have to be strong all the time. Lifting heavy risks injury, right? So it's not that you don't have to be strong all the time. It's you're not going to be strong all the time. You're going to be carrying loads of fatigue. You're going to have lactic acid, glycogen buildup, all this shenanigans in your system, compiling, growing, and kind of beating you up from the inside out, right? So it's like you're not going to be strong all the time. You cannot hit whatever you hit on the platform every single day. You can pretty much really only hit what you can hit on the platform when you're on the platform, right? So it's the fact that it's not sandbagging accessories. It's because I was sandbagging. I was doing the whole just move a bunch of weight as fast as possible, the kind of like old school method of doing accessories. And like, now we've got that whole slow twitch, fast twitch of the controlling movement that's going to increase time under tension kind of thing going on. So it's like, it's hard to, it's getting even more difficult to gauge what is actually hard. Because if I increase something by 5 pounds, it can go from like an RPE 6 to an RPE 10, where it'll be either like a laughably easy thing, or it's something that I'm going to be struggling with to go to completion, because you always want to go to completion, but you don't want to like get too close to completion, like you know. But it's training is progressing, and we're in this new training. It's not really a new training. We're 5 weeks into this training block, and we're still like, this is my struggle with the whole concept of trying to figure out like how much weight you should actually have on there, is because I'm still trying to figure out how much weight I'm supposed to be doing with all these accessories. Like, I am progressing with things, but I'm also at the like with the cable rows, I'm still not using enough weight for that. I am getting limited based on how much I can. I pretty much have to like build a whole platform in order for me to like be able to properly do that. Shit's feeling lighter, which means I'm getting stronger potentially. Like the 150-pound dumbbells. This time last year, I was struggling to move them to the places that I needed to. Like, I could barely do a row with 150-pound dumbbells. But now I can pick them up and I can move them wherever the fuck I want. Like, we are getting it's the tangible getting stronger is a whole different ball game. Like, it's not a whole different ball. It's almost like an entirely different concept going on in the training that I'm doing right now. It's hard to wrap my own head around. So it's just, I don't want to say it's unsettling. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. It's not frustrating, but it is. But it's not unsettling. But it is. It's it's hard. It's hard to express in words, like how I'm feeling, what things feel like. Like, fuck. This is why men don't talk about their feelings. Shit. Like, damn. But anyways, I'm actually going to be on a podcast tonight. I've got like an hour ish before I started recording this. I had about an hour before the podcast, so I'm probably going to eat my dinner and then kind of just shack up in my room. And it's the Fit and Shit podcast with Bobby Hume and Mike Skiba from Hellbent Barbell. Cool guys. I don't know what like. So Mike and I are friendly, right? And like, you give your friends shit to remind them that you're friends, right? So do I just go out there and be like, hey, before we start, Mike, what's it like fitting through doorways? You know? Or like, just be like, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this. Cause like, I tried to look up past episodes of this podcast, but every time I opened my phone, it just went straight to Pornhub. And you can't go on Pornhub without watching midget porn, right? Like, I don't know what kind of vibe we're gonna go for. I actually haven't seen any of the past episodes. I just know that Mike and Bobby are cool shit. So I'm gonna pretty much, if you have a podcast and you ask me if I want to be on the podcast, I'm gonna be like, yeah. I like meeting new people. I like talking to people I know. I like learning new shit. Like, I'm in New Hampshire, right? There's like, when I go to meets, it's cool. It's cool as shit because you get a bunch of meatheads in a singular area, and we get it. We all get it. Everyone gets it. We're having a good time. Especially the big meets where it's like, you just shit yourself? Yeah, me too. Yeah. Like, I think I shit myself warming up at the American Pro on like my second to last warm up. And my coach comes over. He's like, he asked my handler, Shane Haller, and he was like, how's Patrick doing? Shane just goes, he shit himself. And Joe was like, all right, okay. That's like, and then like, going back and forth a little bit with Phil during warm-ups on squats. I was like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, so I'm just copying you. Like, we got pretty much the same opener. We had the same opener. And I was like, I'm a little nervous with how fast the warm-ups are going to end up going, so I'm just following whatever you're doing. He was like, yeah. But like meeting Justin Zottel, like we've been in each other's DMs because we're both coached by Joe. We've been in each other's DMs, going back and forth, hyping each other up, all leading up to the meet. And actually meeting him in person was cool shit. Spending a weekend with the boys, Shane Haller and Craig wasn't there. It was Fernando Arias. It's it's funny because Shane and Craig basically are two peas in a pod. So it's kind of weird being when Craig isn't there, but Shane is. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna get me canceled. But like shit, like meeting Fernando, like being in the culture. Actually, I met Zach Myers, and like on the day before I competed, we were just at the venue, just watching like the sleeve day go down, and we were just talking. We were just vibing. It was awesome. Like Zach got engaged at the meet. Like I want to be where all the strong people are. Like I want to be like I like my gym. I like everyone in there, but I need to be pushed, if that makes sense. I need to, like today I went to the gym a couple hours early. It was like an hour and a half early, and I ended up leaving 3 hours early. Um, so that puts things into perspective as to how my gym visits go. Um, but like I want to move somewhere where I'm either surrounded by people stronger than me. That'd be Florida with like Shane, Craig, Dan Bell, Fernando Arias, like or somewhere where there's people more successful than me. And I will accept people with higher dots when it's not in a meet. So like going to Jordan Wong's gym in Florida, or like flying or living in Vegas where I got my coach Joe, there's Brianni Terry, Hunter Henderson's down there now. Like go out to where is it, San Antonio in Texas, where I think that's where Jesus is, like or like wherever the fuck Iron Rebel is. Like I just want to be surrounded by people who are um it it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good when I say it, but like I want to be surrounded by my competition more often, if that makes sense. Like not to shit on New England, but when I've got I almost had a 2400 total, so I've got a 2342. I locked out to 777 deadlifts, which would have put me at 2403, but meat stuff. Um, so basically a 2400 total, number two total is 1900 in the region. So I can skip bench almost. I can almost skip bench and still be I can take 135 on bench and still be the strongest guy in the region. Like I hate talking about this shit because I don't feel humble. Like I hate it when I don't feel humble, you know? Cuz you never want to be like you don't want to be egotistical, but like I just want to be surrounded by my competition more, and that's basically the gist of it. But I've been recording this way too long. I'm not gonna edit any of it. Well, I'm gonna edit out a bit of little minutia of editing. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Those of you who made it to the end here with my mindless. It's not a mindless rant. It was there was a train of thought. It just didn't stay on the rails. But at least I didn't talk about what like how to perfume your balls this time, which no one answered. Like you've got deodorant for your armpits and everything. You've got cologne for the cologne things. You've got beard balm. I've got pumpkin spice beard balm in my beard right now. I got mustache wax because the CEO of my company was in today and I wanted to look funky fresh. But like there's nothing to scent your balls. So do we like you don't spray Axe body spray near your balls because that shit burns. You do that once. You do that once and you learn your lesson. Maybe twice if you forgot and you're still self-conscious about the way that your butthole smells, and you're going on your first date, second date, probably. Not that I would know. But like, how do you make your balls smell good? Do you put cocoa butter on your balls? Because like people jerk off with lotion, so that is safe in that area, you know? How do you make your balls smell delicious to the opposing gender? Or I know the majority of you guys watching this are bears. How do you make your balls appealing to the person you want your balls in the mouth of? That's what I want to know. And if there isn't anything, why isn't there anything? It's 2023. Why isn't there more scented baby wipes? Why is there not pumpkin spice scented baby wipes? That's what I want to know. But Bath and Body Works better get on that shit because they're missing out. We eat ass. It's 2023. We eat ass. We need tasty asses. We need good smelling. I mean, anyone who's eaten ass, like, they know what ass tastes like, you know? And it's like not as bad as you would expect because it's ass. And everyone's like, oh, that tastes like ass. Not as bad as you would think. But like, if we had pumpkin spice scented baby wipes, you drop your pants. You've got this chick dressed up like Han Solo with a North Face vest, leggings, and UGG boots, like a Han Solo motherfucker. You drop your pants, your butthole smells like pumpkin spice. You've got cocoa butter on your balls. You best believe she's wetter than the Niagara Falls down there. She has to go change. She has to wear a pad around you because she'll soak through her leggings from being so fucking wet around you, knowing that your asshole smells and tastes like pumpkin spice. And cherry on top, your balls taste like chocolate because you've been putting cocoa butter on it. I got off I got off topic a little. But someone please answer me. Someone please, for the love of God, answer me. And also confer with a female that you know. Because a female that you know that won't see the question that you will be asking as some sort of harassment. The only female that I have spoken to recently is my work wife. And she's a lesbian, so I can't ask her about pumpkin spice assholes and cocoa butter balls. So I need you guys to do the legwork for me on this and figure out whether or not cocoa butter balls and pumpkin spice buttholes will get you laid more often. Asking for a friend? Stay degenerate, boys. Patty out.